This is a Renko chart of the S&P 500, specifically the futures contract, which is nothing more than a reflection of the S&P. We're using the continuous contract at ES so that we can do the charting. The actual contract that one would trade currently is the September contract, the ESU 22. What's going on here? What's happening in this chart? What do you see? What is all this? What is this writing? Who put that in there? How did it get there? Let me introduce myself. I'm Bag of Don at StockMarketCaddy.com. Today is Tuesday, June 28th at 11:19. The markets were up and the markets are pulling back. This calls for a crash. This calls for a new bull market. Lots of confusion. When you use price charts the way that we use price charts, and we use not just Renko, we use point and figure, we use line break, we use range bars, you really get to see the price action very, very clearly. Now, how one might trade this, there is a host of different trades here. But let me share with you a couple of things. The biggest mistake people make in trading Renko, custom Renko, point and figure, is the size of the brick. This brick is sized at 23 points. How did we settle on 23? We have another algo that suggests the proper brick size for the interval, the time frame of which we're trying to mimic. As you see, price charts are not time dependent. So when we want to mimic a daily view, slow things down, it's really important that we get the right brick size. Otherwise, we may see just too much action for what we're trying to do on a swing basis. So we have an algo that provides us a consistent and objective and a dynamic recommendation on the brick size on any market. Most people choose a brick size based on the amount of money that they think they want to make or not lose. These algos in the corner, and they are algos, tell us the brick value. And the recommended brick value at 23 points is rich. A mini contract is $11.50, $1,150. This is our algo telling us what the brick value is. Now, if you want to trade and not trade that much money, the good news is you can trade micros, which would be 1/10, $115. But what one does not want to do is to make the brick smaller because they want to trade minis and introduce more noise if they are trying to trade on a swing basis. This algo up here tells us, and it will adjust and write itself on the screen automatically. You might want to favor the long side. This algo tells us if we're under accumulation, under distribution, or if we're in an area where we should be taking profit. This algo down here tells us if there's any price momentum or any bearish or bullish divergence. At the moment, it's telling us you might favor the long side. We're under accumulation and there is no price momentum divergence. The last entry for the strategy that's on this chart, you can see this strategy, was right here. All the market is doing right now is pulling back. It's just a little pullback. It is likely to pull back to about 38, 35.6, thereabouts. Probably not below 38.11. Lots of money to be made in between there, of course, but we're getting a little pullback. It's likely to find support, and we'll map it and catch yet another move up and continue to get up into the higher end of this broad range. By the way, this is a proprietary indicator of ours, mapping out the swing points. And these little red dots are swing points. They are the C point of a short signal, and the green ones are C points to a long signal. Here are the bullish divergence. It was down in here that we were able to tell our members that we had the structure of a left shoulder, a little sloppy right shoulder, and a head down here, and that we were likely to move up back into the range, which is exactly what we're doing. To help you, we also write strategies, and there are strategies entering and exiting on this chart. This is a stock market caddy strategy. What would the performance have been over the last 6 months? Let us show you. If you had taken every signal, you would have made approximately $19,100, a profit factor of 1.57. We don't want anyone joining Stock Market Caddy to get a specific indicator, a specific strategy. That's not really what we're about. We are a mentoring site, a place where you can come, learn, have discussions. We will learn from you. And yes, you do get our library of proprietary indicators and strategies and paint bars for you to choose what market, what chart, how you want to mix and match. What interval do you want to mimic? How quickly do you want to trade? How slowly? How much leverage? It's entirely up to you. But we will do our best to share with you our approach and to try to help you develop what we call your own game, to help demystify the markets. But we're not too excited, and yes, we're profiting on some of the short action here this morning as we pull back. But on a daily basis, even though this isn't using daily time frame, it isn't time dependent, it appears to us that this is just a normal pullback. Likely to find support again and likely to break out. But regardless, we have our tools, and they're going to simply map the price action as they've done over here. It enables us to have a life, so we're not tethered to a machine. We're not tethered to anyone's opinion. Certainly not any of those folks on CNBC. There is a learning curve to all this. You cannot watch just one video. No more than you can watch one video of a golf instruction and go out and play, scratch golf. It takes time. If this interests you, if you want to get on the field so you can see the price action, the way that we see the price action, so that you can begin making your own decisions objectively, consistently, it's impossible to develop confidence if you're changing from one thing to another, to another, to another, or you're subscribing to a person that is giving you 10 selections, and from that you pick 3 or 4. You have no idea where his selections are coming from. You have no idea of what you're putting money on, or worse than that, you're hodling. You're buying, and holding on for dear life. At some point, for those hodlers out there, at some point, I assume you want to recognize your profits, to go buy a car, to go buy a cabin on a lake, maybe to retire. But at some point, if you want to realize those profits, you're going to need to sell. How do you know when it's time to sell and how to sell? What happens if the market is down 90% 3 months before you want to retire and cash out. I'm bagging on 813-758-8263. It's up to you.